Democrats are trying to come up with some angle on why Donald Trump is very bad and very mean. So Donald Trump did something deeply damaging to the Harris-Walz campaign the other day. He pointed out that Kamala Harris was the last person in the room in the horrifying decision-making on Afghanistan, and that her decision-making got 13 Americans murdered at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. Absolutely true. That's precisely what happened. He went to Arlington National Cemetery. When he went to Arlington National Cemetery, he did so not only with the go-ahead, but with the desire of Gold Star families. So he showed up, he placed a wreath. The Gold Star families wanted him to do so, and there were pictures that were taken and then put out. This apparently is some sort of deep and abiding scandal. We are now being told by the media it is absolutely inappropriate for the former president of the United States to visit Arlington National Cemetery to pay homage to fallen American soldiers if there are cameras there. Now again, throughout my political life, presidents have done this sort of thing. Barack Obama used to go and meet the caskets coming off planes to demonstrate how much he cared about the families. Joe Biden has gone to multiple cemeteries while president of the United States, and he has done so with political purposes in mind. Again, most recently, he did that, as you'll recall, when he actually visited the Ein Marne American Cemetery in June and insulted Donald Trump in the process. But apparently it's really bad when Donald Trump does that with the explicit permission of the Gold Star families involved. Here was CNN reporting on this. I mean, it boggles the mind. So the problem is not that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have not called one of these families. That's not a problem. We are told, by the way, again, Gold Star families have vented their frustrations. There's yet to be any accountability on this. During a press call hosted by the Trump campaign and the RNC, Cheryl Jules, aunt of Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole G., said history will repeat itself if the government cannot admit its failures. She said there's never even been condolences. They want to pretend it didn't happen. They want to take credit for ending the war, but don't want to take responsibility for how it went down. Mark Schmitz, father of Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, emphasized one of the main goals is ensuring this never happens again. He said, we have to make sure that any Gold Star family is not left for 3 years just waiting for their child's name to be read by the leader of the country. So the big scandal here, of course, is that 13 American soldiers died in the worst foreign policy blunder of my lifetime, in which people were falling off wheel wells and American soldiers were getting blown up. An entire country that we spent 20 years investing in was handed over to the worst people on earth, along with hundreds of millions of dollars of American weaponry and machinery. And then none of the names of the dead are read by the administration. None of the families are reached out to by the administration. But the real problem is that Donald Trump paid attention to them and photos were taken. Listen to CNN's reporting here.
All right, this morning, new details on an altercation involving Donald Trump's team at Arlington National Cemetery. The incident happened while the former president was visiting Section 60, the burial site for recent U.S. casualties, during his visit on Monday. Trump's now suggesting on Truth Social that the problem stemmed from his campaign's use of photography. CNN's Elena Treen has more from Washington, D.C. There was some back and forth here about what happened from the park and the Trump campaign. What are you learning this morning?
Well, there's still a lot of details that are unclear here, Sarah, and we are still trying to learn more, get more information. But what is clear, and both sides agree on, is that there was some sort of incident. And you can see that where you saw that video of Donald Trump laying flowers at the burial site for some of these recent fallen soldiers. That's known as Section 60. That is really where some of this incident, we're told, has taken place.
So it's all about whether Donald Trump adhered to the rules on photography. It's not about the 13 dead American soldiers who were entirely ignored. Let's talk facts, people. The fact is, your body needs more than just kale smoothies to operate at its most efficient. That's why I want to tell you about Momentous. Now, I don't do this like fad or gimmick kind of stuff. I believe in hard work and results, and that's exactly what Momentous creatine, omega-3, and protein deliver. These 3 supplements support nearly every aspect of foundational health, from aiding cognitive function to reducing muscle and joint inflammation. My good friend and colleague Christine is a triathlete and a mom to a toddler. She's been taking these supplements daily. She's not only been crushing it on her Peloton every morning, but also dominating at work. It's like a secret weapon for high performers who want to outwork the competition. Now, in a world of questionable products, Momentous does stand out. They work with only the best experts in the business, and they use only the highest quality ingredients. What's on the label is what's in the product, and absolutely nothing else. Straight facts, no nonsense, just how I like it. Here's something that really impresses me. Momentus heavily invests in third-party testing. They hold their products to the standard set by the most demanding organizations in the world, including the NFL and the NBA. That's right, some of the world's greatest athletes use and have even helped develop Momentus products. If you want to take supplements that are made by and used by the best in the world, go to livemomentus.com/Shapiro or use code Shapiro for 20% off. That's livemomentus.com/Shapiro. Joe Biden's at the beach. Again. He's at the beach. He's still the president. I know we're supposed to pretend he's not the president anymore. He's still the president. He's at the beach. He said in open debate, troops did not die on his watch. He is a liar. It is his fault. And he's at the beach. Kamala Harris put out a statement about how we honor all the dead. Yeah, really, do you? Because I noticed that you didn't call any of their families. That's one of the things I noticed. But the real problem is that Donald Trump went there and people took pictures. That is just terrible. And so we have Maggie Haberman, who puts out a piece all about the images at the grave and how it dismays the family of a Green Beret buried at Arlington. Okay, well, I noticed that a bunch of the other families are not dismayed. Quote, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to President Donald Trump for his presence at the recent Section 60 gathering, honoring our children and their fallen brothers and sisters. On the 3-year anniversary of the Abbey Gate bombing, the president and his team conducted themselves with nothing but the utmost respect and dignity for all of our service members, including our beloved children. The statement was made on behalf of the families of Sergeant Taylor Hoover, Sergeant Nicole G., Purple Heart recipients, retired USMC Sergeant Taylor Vargas Andrews, and retired U.S. Marine Corps Corporal Kelsey Lanehart. The families added, quote, we had given our approval for President Trump's official videographer and photographer to attend the event, ensuring the sacred moments of remembrance were respectfully captured and so we can cherish these memories forever. We are deeply grateful to the president for taking the time to honor our children. But according to the media, Trump is bad for doing this. The Biden-Harris administration is not bad and not responsible for what actually happened and not paying any attention to the families and ignoring them. And in fact, deliberately overlooking them. Donald Trump is bad for having visited Arlington National Cemetery and pictures were taken. Wow. J.D. Vance was pretty fired up about this yesterday. Here he was pointing out that these 13 brave Americans are dead because of Kamala Harris.
3 years ago, 13 brave, innocent Americans died. And they died because Kamala Harris refused to do her job, and there hasn't been a single investigation or a single firing. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened, and she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
Okay, by the way, people are angry at him for having said this. J.D. Vance served in the military. J.D. Vance did. He didn't lie about it like Tim Walz either. And this is that sort of passion. The media are trying to play that as though it's how could he say such a terrible thing? How could he say she can go to hell? How could he say such a thing? First of all, I mean, compare that to what they've been saying about Donald Trump for the last 10 years, and it's nothing. It doesn't even chart. But this apparently is unhinged. It's unhinged to say that if she ignores the dead American soldiers that her administration created, that somehow saying go to hell is like, wow, it's just terrible. How? By the way, the Biden-Harris administration has treated dead American soldiers with nothing but contempt, truly contempt. They won't even mention their names. They pretend this stuff doesn't even happen. You'll recall when Joe Biden literally checked his watch. Remember, he actually checked his watch during a ceremony honoring slain heroes. He checked, like those actual people, he was checking his watch multiple times during the event. It's still, again, the single most disgusting failure of the Biden administration, and there have been a lot. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.